Hi everyone, welcome back to another business analysis video. In today's video, I will be talking about challenges in the business analysis career. I'll be giving 3 challenges experienced in business analyst career that I've personally experienced and how I've dealt with this. Number 1 is your specifications or your requirements do not satisfy the needs of the dev team, the development team. Certain details about requirements not being met or not being explained properly to dev team so that they're able to deliver a change. Could be that the requirement might be vague or ambiguous. Also, the business analyst might not understand the level of detail that the requirements need to be at, or the level of detail to elicit or draw out from the stakeholder in order to represent that for the dev team to deliver. Another factor could be the time allocated for eliciting requirements and compiling those requirements document might not be adequate in order to deliver a clear, smart requirement that the team are able to understand and deliver. So a possible solution to this issue or this challenge, I would suggest, is having a checklist of requirements when you're eliciting or drawing out your requirements from stakeholders. Stakeholders are users or the people who have interest in the project or a change. So by drawing that out, try to have a checklist and possibly start from a higher level requirement first, and then start to have a more detailed requirement. For example, off the top of my head, of a process, for example, could be a complaints process. How does a user handle a complaint process when it comes through a system? There are different ways, for example, via phone call, via email, and then the user responds back via email or via phone call. However, there might be business rules. So that would be your highest level of that requirement as a user. When a complaint comes through the system via phone call or email, I'm expected to read through that email, find resolutions for that complaint, and think about the conditions for solving that issue by answering the query and solving the issue, or escalating to another team. So that would be a high level requirements gathering or documenting. And then if you would like to, once you have that high level explanation from the user, then you can dig deeper and ask further questions to further highlight or clarify or have more detail about that process. How can I have more detail about that process? So more details could be what type of user are there, what type of user is making a complaint, what type of complaint is it? Is it complaint about a service? Is it complaint about a system use? You know, this is where you start to dig deeper and have more clarity in your requirement detail. Another way to also clarify or avoid ambiguity in your requirements is using your modeling techniques to identify those lacking information and add needed details. So once you've drawn out that process, it helps you to be more clear on the sort of questions that you need to ask further to dig deeper into that requirement. Another solution I would suggest is having reviews, requirement reviews, especially at the early stage before allocating those requirements to dev. Have requirements review with your testers to ensure that they really understand the requirements, or to see, it can even draw out more questions from the testers so that they're which you can then go back to stakeholders to clarify. And also have your requirements reviewed by developers. So these are ways I would suggest in order to satisfy the need of your dev team. Another challenge that I've experienced in my career is conflicts with stakeholders, dealing with difficult stakeholders or imperfect stakeholders. Now, there are different types of stakeholders you can experience conflict. One of them includes the subject matter expert. This is one challenge I've had, because the subject matter expert knows the system or the processes in detail. Some challenge you can experience is that they give too much detail, thereby distracting from the focus of one requirement, which can result in waste of time as well. In addition, the SMEs don't necessarily know everything. They might be more focused on knowing higher detail, whereas end users really know their own pain points. So again, is varying views, being able to manage varying views. You can also find stakeholders who are somewhat aggressive and just want you to write exactly what they're saying, not ask any question, because they already know how their system works and what they have, and they just say, okay, just write this, and you're not able to probe further. So when there's conflict, I think the best thing to do is to first understand the reason for that conflict. So a scenario I can give of stakeholder conflict is when a user is resistant to changing their working process, or resistant to studying new features that have been introduced in a solution or a system. So I think the best way to approach this is for the business analyst to prepare a business case document, so that the users are able to have that trust in that change. So the business analyst presenting this business case and describing the new solution, and also being there to answer the users' questions. So that document should really contain the detail to prove the reason or the approach proposed by your decision maker in a new project, for example. Right. So another challenge that business analysts face is having undocumented processes. And with this, you find a lot of users maintain their processes in the way that they work around it. There might be one set process to follow. However, because there are different users of the system, they start to adapt their own ways of working with these systems. Also, as business analysts, at first sight, you see the process and you just assume that everybody follows that process. Another issue is that when the processes aren't documented, all the knowledge acquired by that user can possibly be taken. For example, if the user leaves that role, then what happens when a new person joins? What exactly is the process to follow? So these are challenges that organizations face. And as business analysts, having undocumented processes also is a huge challenge. So when having that assumption that everybody works the same way, while eliciting requirements, you start to uncover that various users of that same system aren't following the exact or the right process. So which exactly is the right process to follow? So this is a challenge. A possible solution to solve this this challenge is that the business analyst finds who the main users of the systems are and who are the decision makers. And then after this, go ahead to document the description and create that to show exactly what the differences in the processes are amongst those users of the system. And then the document should be presented to the stakeholders so that they can define which of those processes are suitable for the solution, or which one is that right process to follow. Also, the business analyst should really focus on the business needs rather than the user solutions. So this is one huge factor to take into consideration. Yeah, so those are the 3 challenges I have faced in my role. There are a lot of other challenges, but these are the 3 that I can think of. So having these challenges really are the reasons why you are there as a business analyst. You are there to overcome these challenges so that you can begin to add that value for the business need. And it's a really, really good factor for your business analyst career, as you're in that space of learning, having mistakes, learning from the mistakes, and working better within your role, thereby continuing to add that value that the business needs. Yeah, so those are the top 3. I hope I've been able to help in some way in your business analysis career. Let me know what other challenges you faced. If you like solutions to these, leave comments, ask questions. I'm happy to answer in the comment section, or create an entire video or content to answer those questions. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please do subscribe, like, comment, share, turn on your notification bell so that you're updated whenever I upload new videos. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Stay blessed. Peace.